Hi gents, this is a video for Derek at Bathgate Amusements. This says board is one I've worked on before. It's a Proconn PC92 and it developed a little problem. It smoked, actually physically smoked. That part that smoked, he changed that part there and then the board wouldn't boot again. So they couldn't figure out what the problem was, but they were just doing it in the arcade at the time, so they brought it back to me so I can have a look. And looking at it, get a cursory glance. The battery hasn't leaked, it's fly-wired anyway, no traces burnt. This is only the plastic wrap, so that's okay. No pins burnt at the power input. Nothing untoward on the board here. And skipped ahead a wee bit, I've already checked the voltage from the regulator, it's a solid 5 volts. The memory here gets a good strong 3 volts with power off and 5 with power on. That's okay. 5 volts at the ROM, so the logic supply is okay there. And from what I can see, there's nothing heating up or shorting out, so let's see. I've connected a speaker up here. Got the everything power supply out again. I've just fashioned a connector from some old modular ATX power leads to serve the purpose. All I'm doing is supplying it 2 12-volt lines and 2 grounds. Well, let's see. Nothing. The board is dead. I didn't hear anything. Now, I didn't hear anything is a clue in itself. Any computer system with an audio amplifier, anything with a sound circuit, normally when it resets you'll hear a pop or a thump, and I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear a pop, didn't hear a thump. So I'm wondering, is this board even trying to reset? To give you a clue what I mean, if you've had an epoch system, or if you've had a JPM impact system, if they're stuck in reset, you hear them going pop, 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 because it's resetting the system over and over again. I don't hear that. I didn't hear a single bump. Heard nothing. So I'm going to try something. Let's see if I can do this without getting my fingers stuck in the way. See if I can get the right part. And there we go. There we are. So we're just stuck in reset, that's all it is. In fact, we're more likely to be stuck out of reset. The board's not resetting. So, oh, cool orb. Did you see that? Cool orb. Wonder what that was. Anyway. So it's going to be a problem with these transistors, this capacitor, that's all it's going to be. Doesn't look like it's going to be the traces or anything, they look all fine. I strongly suspect, I'm actually strongly suspecting T3. And I'll show you why. Right. So let's see if I can catch this on film. Excuse me a minute, you just have to see my finger. We're going to zoom in on T2 here. Right, let's see if I can get this all in shot. So, T2. We don't want that side, do we? We want that side. I don't know if I can get this all in shot. Right, so I couldn't catch it on film, but never mind. I'll explain what I've been seeing. So, at the minute, what I was trying to catch in films, I was trying to catch what I could see in the logic port, which is a little low high pulse here. Now, this is the reset circuit for the PC92. It's actually just a voltage detector circuit. The only thing that's in the reset that causes the actual pulse is this. All this here, this just prevents that pulse getting from here to here. So, I say what I'm seeing is I'm seeing a little low high pulse there. But reset is always stuck at 5 volts. It's always stuck high. I've checked it over and over and over again. I keep seeing a low high there, low high there. This is always stuck high. Just a quick note for YouTube. I'm watching TV at the same time as doing this video, so don't copyright strike it. I can't help what's in the background. I know people have been copyright striked before for things that are in the background, absolutely nothing to do with them, they have no control over it. But anyways, so I've seen a low high pulse here. So if this starts off low, T3 should be biased off, because there's nothing turning it on. So voltage should pass through those two resistors across D2 and on T4, biasing it on, which pulls that to ground. Reset should pulse low. With this high, what you get is T3 is biased on and the anode T2 is pulled to ground, which means it's at a lower potential on its cathode. There's no current flows through here. T4 is biased off, and instead voltage flows through here. The reset would be high. Regardless of what happens here with this pulse, and this capacitor is fine, I've checked it, it charges and discharges, and I can see it doing all that. If I turn power off, I can see it losing its charge to D1. If I look at it on a meter, I can see it very quickly charging up and power up, so that's fine. And I'm pretty sure T2 is fine, because I see that pulse there. Regardless of what's happening here, T3 is never changing. It is always on. Which means this is always low, which means T4 is always turned off, which means reset is stuck high. That's why I suspect T3. Because I can reset this board in one or two ways. I can short the collector of T4 to the base, and we know the base is stuck low. So that pulls the collector low and pulls this low, causing a reset pulse when I let go. Or I can put my logic probe onto the base of T4, and that loads it down just for a fraction of a second to cause a pulse before it settles back down and pulls the reset low. So I can't do anything to manipulate the reset at any other point. Try shorting C5 out for a second, let it charge back up. No change. Try doing various manipulations out T2, T3. No change. The only place it resets is at T4. So it's like only that part of the circuit is there and everything else is missing. As I said, ignore all the rest of it. It's all working fine. So what I'm going to do is swap T3 out. Even though it tests good, texting a transistor test said tests good. Even though it tests good, I'm going to swap it out because something's amiss. That even though there's a pulse there, nothing happens here. Right, so your T3 there, and I actually changed T2 as well because it looked a little bit crusty. Bingo. Notice as well I made a new power lead. The one I was using a little bit floppy, a little bit stretched, a little bit old, wasn't making a good connection. One thing project coin boards need to guarantee a reset is a perfect ground connection. You sometimes see these boards where the grounds are tied together with a little jumper. It's a little mod they used to do back in the day. But yeah, they're good. I think, if I'm 100% honest with myself, it might actually have been T2 that was the failure, not T3. I was seeing the high-low pulse on the emitter of T2, but I don't think it was quite right because I wasn't seeing it all the time. But yeah, she's alright now. Can actually hear a little bit of interference off the speaker as it runs the real drive. Transistors are buzzing away down there. The beep you're hearing is it failing to find the real optics. And it'll keep spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning until it finds them. It hasn't got an error for reals. Not in 777 Heaven anyway, the game this is running. But yeah, she's alive again. So the question now is, what caused T2 to fail? I said it wasn't a little bit crusty on the legs and maybe just corrosion. There is a little bit of corrosion floating around on the board. It's nothing serious. I have ordered a replacement for C1 here, although it's perfectly fine. It doesn't look too great, so yeah, order a new one. I'll maybe get the varnish to that and seal that a little bit. But yeah, it's all good. So, back to the machine it goes. I said, this power supply is earning its weight in gold now. If you ever want to try this yourself, all you need to start a project coin board up is 2 12-volt supplies and 2 grounds. But like I said, they have to be perfect grounds. And if you're looking for somewhere to attach the ground for your oscilloscope, the casing of the regulator there is the ground. I'm using it to actually attach the ground for the speaker, but it's perfectly fine. Right, so this is going back into the game as soon as the owner comes to get it, and bye bye for now.